Now I invite for interventions. Interventions are supposed to be for 4 minutes each. I'll invite His Excellency Mr. Kian Peng, Speaker of Parliament of Singapore, for his intervention.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and I'd like to start by expressing my appreciation to Speaker Mr. Om Birla and the Parliament of India for the warm hospitality and the outstanding arrangements at this summit. Allow me to share about the energy transition efforts in Singapore. We all know that energy is critical in our daily lives, powering our homes, our businesses, and our industries. However, the way we produce and consume energy is changing rapidly, and Singapore, like many other countries, is no exception. Singapore has made significant strides towards a more sustainable energy future. We have set ambitious targets to increase the share of renewable energy in our energy mix, to reduce carbon emissions, and to improve energy efficiencies. Singapore made early policy changes to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, for example, by switching from fuel oil to natural gas, which is the cleanest form of fossil fuel, for power generation. 2 years ago, about 95% of our electricity was generated from natural gas, and this compares to only 18% in year 2000. We do not provide any subsidy for electricity so as to ensure energy is used judiciously. I believe Singapore is the only country to set a zero growth policy for cars and motorcycles. We plan to phase out internal combustion engine vehicles by 2040 and to encourage the adoption of electric vehicles. Another key initiative is solar energy development. As Singapore has limited land space, we strive to deploy solar photovoltaic systems through continued investments in R&D and innovative deployment modes, such as floating and offshore photovoltaic systems. Singapore aims to achieve at least 2 gigawatt peak by 2030, and this can meet about 3% of our 2030 projected electricity demand. All these form part of the Singapore Green Plan 2030, which is a whole-of-nation sustainable development agenda, with our 5 pillars comprising city nature, energy reset, sustainable living, green economy, and resilient future. Singapore works to foster effective international cooperation on climate action and to support other developing countries in building capacity for climate efforts. To date, close to 150,000 officials from fellow developing countries, they have participated in capacity building courses under the Singapore Cooperation Programme in areas such as sustainable development, urban planning, and transport management. Many of these courses have been structured in collaboration with partners like the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the United Nations Environment Programme. Under this Singapore Cooperation Programme's Climate Action Package, Singapore offers capacity building support in areas such as climate change mitigation strategies, flood management, and green finance. This Climate Action Package was succeeded by the Sustainability Action Package, which covers a wide range of sustainability themes such as adaptation and resilience building strategies, green project management and financing, low carbon development, and carbon markets. Singapore's Parliament itself has also passed several pieces of legislation to reiterate Singapore's commitment to the energy transition and to support the adoption of sustainable practices. And these include, first, the Carbon Pricing Act, which imposes a carbon tax on large emitters of greenhouse gases to encourage individuals and businesses to reduce their carbon footprint and to invest in cleaner technologies. The Carbon Pricing Amendment Act was passed just last November, which will raise the carbon tax, enabling the pace of transformation needed to achieve our climate ambition. And it starts from the current $5 per ton of emissions. It will go up 5 times to $25 per ton in 2024 and 2025, and 9 times to $45 in 2026 and beyond. Second, the Energy Conservation Act, which requires large energy users to conduct energy audits and implement energy efficiency measures. And third, the Resource Sustainability Act, which will require companies to report on their resource use and to implement measures to reduce and manage waste. Last but not least, our Parliament building itself in Singapore, we've implemented several green measures, and they include, first, achieving continued certification such as Green Building since 2005, and this is the BCA Green Mark Award, which evaluates a building's environmental impact and performance in Singapore. Second, installing energy-efficient LED lighting controlled by motion sensors and timers to ensure that electricity is only used when needed. And third, retrofitting our chilled water air conditioning system, resulting in an estimated energy savings of over 602,000 kilowatt per hour per year, an estimated water savings of 6,500 cubic meters of water each year. So in conclusion, while there are challenges ahead, all of us have made significant progress, and we've set ambitious targets for the future, something which many other countries have done so too. So let me call on all of us to continue to work together to achieve these goals. Thank you for the time to share these findings with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency Mr. C. Kian Peng.